Everybody. So we now have a quorum for this special council meeting to proceed. So we'll open the meeting at 5:04 p.m. We'll begin with an acknowledgement of country. So we'd like to acknowledge the Ngadjuri and Kaurna people, the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, emerging, and extend that respect to the other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are present today. Appreciating that this is a special council meeting called at fairly short notice. So attendance is up on the screen. There are some apologies this evening as shown up on the screen. There's no leave of absence and no non-attendance. So there's just one matter on the agenda to consider this evening, councillors, but before we consider that motion that I've brought forward for this evening, we do have a deputation or some people, some residents of Ebenezer Road here that have requested a deputation before we consider that motion on notice. So Peter and Connie, would you like to address the council?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to say what we feel about Ebenezer Road and what we feel it needs desperately. It doesn't matter what summer you have. It's diabolical, Ebenezer Road. There are four main roads in the entire region north of Nuriutpa. Sturt Highway, Kapunda to Truro, Belvedere and Ebenezer. And Ebenezer is unsealed. After 50 years, it's still unsealed, or half of it's sealed, to the church. It is the main thoroughfare from Kapunda, your town, this big town, to Angaston, Light Pass, Stockpool, Wolf Blass, the entire area. The traffic goes through either Ebenezer or Research Roads. We understand that both can't be sealed. We understand that. But Ebenezer must be sealed. The dust menace is unbelievable. It is a danger. It is a health danger, a severe health danger. Dust sits over the entire Ebenezer area most of the time. You imagine children breathing this dust in. Cars going along Ebenezer Road are praying there's no other vehicle on the road. This includes the school bus. The school bus comes along Ebenezer. It comes from Stockwell, the length of Ebenezer down to Belvedere, where it picks up kids there. If the bus comes along and there's another vehicle in front of it, the bus can't see what's in front of it. Can you imagine the ramifications down the track of a disaster there? In winter, Belvedere is terrible. Vehicles will just slide around on Belvedere, on Ebenezer Road, on Ebenezer Road. So in summer or winter, it is bad news. It desperately needs sealing. We are praying that you'll deliver that this year. If it's not delivered this year, you're looking at 2 more years of those terrible conditions, at least 2 years. So we're just urging you to make the decision to seal it. I understand there's a plan to resheet Ebenezer Road. I just can't see the logic in that. Why would you waste money resheeting it? Why not reseal it and get it done? And so there are so many, I mean, it's a tourist area, all that sort of thing. Tourists driving down there, what do they think? They'll never drive there again. So in every aspect, it is very bad news. All I can say is we just urge you to come to the conclusion that it's got to be sealed this coming year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. I fully agree with everything Peter Herbert said before me, and I just wanted to give you a perspective of a first-time mom living there. I moved there with my partner October 2021, and we were horrified pretty early after we moved there how much traffic there is on this road and how bad the dust actually is. I've never lived on a dirt road, so I had no idea what was going on. But I was horrified about the quality of living we didn't have, but we expected to have it because we moved to the country. And it definitely affects our outdoors living because I can't even hang my laundry outside because it gets just covered in dirt. I can't use my veranda the way I want to use it because it's covered in dirt every single day and I would have to clean it every single day, all the outside furniture. I couldn't let my child outside in the summer on the veranda to start walking there because it was just dirty the whole time. Inside is pretty much the same. I mean, it's a bit better inside, but still I have my clothes in the wardrobe covered in dirt in dust. And I clean my stovetop every single day and it's still covered in dust the next morning. So we kept screening the real estate market pretty much the moment we moved in. But as we all know, it's not in our favor at the moment. 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, we welcomed our daughter into this world. She came 16 weeks early, so she is a heavy micropreemie. I had to have her in hospital for 107 days, but when I took her home on home oxygen, which horrified me to take her home to where I was living in general, but then to take her home on home oxygen because that shows that she had respiratory issues all through her stay in the hospital. And I talked to the doctors before I brought her home about what they feel about taking her into the condition I'm living in. And they said they wouldn't recommend it, but we didn't have an alternative. So that's what I had to do. I can't even walk her. That's another frustrating thing for me as a mom, because I'm used to seeing all these moms with the preems and the babies outside, and I couldn't do that. Anyway, so the World Health Organization reported 4.2 million premature deaths for 2019 worldwide caused by air pollution. Particulate matter is not only dreadful when it comes to cleaning, but it is also a very hard thing when you think about adverse health effects. So it causes respiratory issues, it causes cancer, it causes heart attacks, and so on. What is most frustrating for me is it is outside of my sphere of influence, so I can't actually do anything. The moment we moved into our property, I started planting trees, I started planting shrubs, but we also lack water, so my plants are not really thriving in this condition. And they wouldn't actually help anything because the dust just goes over them, because I have a massive hedge in front of my house and it still doesn't help at all. And I know we have the grader come through Ebenezer Road quite regularly, which is necessary because sometimes the road is so bad that the rattling of the trucks driving past rattles my windows, which I never thought would actually be possible, but it is. And the grader doesn't actually help anything. So the grader makes the road a bit more even, the surface a bit better, but the dust is still there, and it's probably even worse after the grader has been there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to come and address council this evening. And yeah, just know that we are listening and you've been heard. And I appreciate your time coming tonight. So that brings us to the one motion on notice for consideration this evening. The motion on notice that I gave when I called the special council meeting is as displayed. This afternoon, I've been advised that the CEO would not be able to implement the motion as it's written, and it would require a minor amendment. And I guess for those that have come here to observe the council meeting this evening, before I go on to talk to the amendments and move the motion, is that the council will adopt the budget the budget will come for council to make a decision on, I should say, later this month. And that's the time when the draft annual business plan will be represented to the council, and the council then endorses that or not, makes a decision about that budget. So that sort of sets the scene for what follows next. In recent meetings, council's made 2 decisions that are resolutions around Ebenezer Road. One of those is to seek a report from the CEO or his delegate on undertaking the work on Ebenezer Road in year 2. And there was an original motion presented in April that spoke to Ebenezer Road being upgraded in year 1, and that was subsequently changed on the basis that council might be able to secure grant funding. The motion that I'm putting forward is more similar to the first motion, in the sense that it's seeking to ensure that the work is done in year 1, irrespective of grant funding. Having said all of that, in order for this motion to be implemented by the staff, I'm required to call for a report that would effectively mean that this work is done in year 1, if that was adopted by the council. So the motion now reads that the council requests the Chief Executive Officer includes within the report for adoption of the 25-26 annual business plan and long-term financial plan to bring forward funding for and delivery of an upgrade of Ebenezer Road. So what that means is that there will be a report coming to council at the end of June. There was always going to be a report. There will be a report that says we're doing it in year 1, and there will be a report that says that we're doing it in year 2, and the council will ultimately make that decision at that time. Have I got all of that right? If I didn't amend it this evening, the result would be the same, that there could still only be a report. Is that right? Yeah. So I think, what we get from this evening is, whichever way it goes, a sense of council's appetite to do that. Yep. So in that case, I'll move that motion as it's presented on the screen. I guess I'll give myself an opportunity to speak to the motion. From my perspective, I think we've heard from some residents that on Ebenezer Road, it's a road that's been talked about within the council for some time as needing upgrade. We've heard from one of our residents here that that the conditions on Ebenezer Road are causing them some distress. This road's been covered in the local media, and from my perspective, I don't really differentiate as to whether we rely on the grant funding to complete the work or we simply borrow and then we can recycle the grant for another purpose in year 2. What I would like to see come from this is that the work is done in year 1, and I'll put that. I'll move that motion. Is there a seconder? Councillor Simon, thank you. Would you like to speak to it, Councillor Simon? No? Councillors, would anyone else like to speak to the motion? No? In that case, then we'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? All those against? That's carried. Thank you. So in that case, that brings us to the end of business for council meeting this evening. Sorry, Corrigan, the next meeting will be the ordinary council meeting on Tuesday, the 24th of June. And I declare the meeting closed at 5:18 p.m. Thank you, everyone.